Hey guys, it's TheFrXion here, or T110e5, however you want to call me, I don't really care, and today we're continuing the series World of Tanks 101. Well, today we're going to be playing the one and only T110e5. My first tier 10 tank, my first tier 10 heavy tank, and what a tier 10 heavy tank. After, some patches ago, they have buffed the crap out of this vehicle. Now, if you have never played the E5, or if you have never engaged the E5 in-game, after patch 9.2 or 9.1, I'm not sure when it was released, or in which patch the upgrade, the buff for the E5 was released, then, well, you have never seen true power in the game. This vehicle combines an incredible 120mm gun with a good rate of fire, with great turret armor and great hull armor up front, of course, and mobility. This tank is the dream for the heavy tank driver, in my opinion. The IS-7 is better armored altogether, but this tank is just, in my opinion, better balanced in, this is the tank that just does almost everything right. The side armor is very weak, with only about 75mm, I think. Yeah, 76 and 36 in the rear, so we are not going to talk about this. The front is incredibly powerful, with 254 on the lower hull, or on the hull, and with 203mm up front. This tank is a true beast. We're going to play it right now. So, what do you have to look out for if you're playing a E5 or if you're engaging a E5? Well, if you're engaging a E5 in a tier 8 or a tier 9 or a tier 10 in the game, there are a few weak spots that you need to know, and that is the lower plate. Although the problem is just that the lower plate has been buffed in the last, in the patch a few months ago, and this tank just has an amazing lower plate now. If you're running a IS-3 with 223mm of pen, you might be able to go through, but not with the same amount of reliability as, for example, the TheFrXion, who has over 280mm of pen, I think, since it's a 155mm gun. Unfortunately, I do not own that tank yet. I think I will never own that tank over there, but that's fine, because I'm just happy driving my E5. And I'm trying to get the third star. I'm at 88%, and 95% is the goal. That is gonna be really, really difficult. Although this tank is so good, it's gonna be tough, because there are a lot of players out there who will make your day a living hell, since they are going to be shooting a lot of premium ammunition at this vehicle. Your lower plate is your main weak spot on the tank. If you look at your cupola, it just screams for being shot at. But unfortunately for all the players who have, well, tried, almost nobody can penetrate the cupola now anymore. That is a thing of the past. The tank destroyers were able to do that, but are still able to do that, to be fair. But we just got penetrated on the side by a tank destroyer probably. There was a little bit of careless driving right there. Now we're going to try to side scrape. You have to be very careful while side scraping in this tank, because the side armor is just that weak. And you can see the T30 trying to go for our old weak spot, the cupola, or the hatch, commander's hatch, however you want to call it. And he's unable to go through that. So we have spotted the tortoise all the way back there, and we can actually fire all the shots we want, because nobody can challenge us right now at this position. This T30 is trying, but he's having some bad luck right there. And also the Conqueror was an easy target for us. Now, this is, in my opinion, also a mix of a heavy and a medium, since this tank actually moves with a lot of mobility. And trying to get a shot in the T30, and he actually punished our VK there for peeking. And you can just see the beauty of this 8 degrees of gun depression. It just allows you to do the things right here. Shoot at the guys who are trying to get to the hill, but since we do have the position, we do actually have the luck that all our medium tanks went to the hill. We were in a very good position from the get-go. And now we can just actually farm damage. That's how fast we can go in a World of Tanks game. That's how fast the game can be decided. And that Grille over there is the only thing that is in the way of us pushing. And I'm gonna be very careful here. I'm gonna wait for the AMAX 5120 to move up and actually engage the Grille, because that thing hits hard. As you can see, he was the one who penetrated our side turret there when we were moving up the hill. And that is not very nice. So I'm gonna be waiting for the Grille to be taken out before I'm gonna be pushing. And this is one of the things that you need to keep in mind if you're playing this tank, or if you're playing tanks in general. Do not overextend with the specific vehicles, because you might have some trouble fighting all by yourself. And you can see right there, these IS-7s know the weak spot of the tank. They fire 2 very good shots at me, and they're able to penetrate us there, unfortunately for us. So I'm gonna see if I maybe can get a shot at the IS-7. I'm gonna angle my tank, and we have to be careful here. And he actually tracks us. And we're at low health. This is not the best situation that we have found ourselves in. Let's see if we can get a shot into that IS-7. And luckily for us, our team's moving in for the kill. This IS-7. I would have pushed me. Oh yeah, he's pushing me actually right now. Oh, I have 11 HP. That's a lot of luck on my side right there. And we take him out. Actually not us, but our team. And the T30. And you can see actually the lower plate right here was not as reliable as I thought, but it's a tier 10 match. These IS-7s have to go through there, because there's no other way. I mean, if a tier 10 cannot penetrate your lower plate, well, there must be something wrong with this tank. But you could see the amazing power of this vehicle with its rate of fire, with its amazing turret armor. That T30 was not able to go through our turret armor. But as soon as we shifted our turret a little bit, since it's only 127mm thick on the side, the Grille was able to put a nice shot into our side turret right there. So yeah, keep that in mind if you're driving this tank. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and play another one. Let's see if we can get into a difficult situation where we can show off the great potential this tank has, or all the potential this vehicle has. So we're gonna be playing on Swamp. Used to be one of my most hated maps in the game. And they do have a lot more medium tanks. So we have a lot more heavies, but they have a lot more medium tanks. So I am thinking that their medium tanks will probably go up there. So I'm gonna just tell my team that we might have a medium rush. I do have the speed to go up there, but the thing is, if I'm going to try to head all the way up to the 0 line, I would have to try to climb a mountain, and they do have very good players. I'm expecting their light tanks to be spotting along here to catch all the guys that are trying to go up the 0 line. So if they actually manage to do that, catch our guys who are trying to go up there, well, we're gonna lose tanks very easily, very fast, and very unnecessarily. So I'm gonna try to push the heavy tank line, the castle here, and then I might fall back to the base to defend the oncoming medium tanks, if that is how they're going to play it out. I'm not sure how they're going to plan it, but I'm expecting them to push at least one side, since they do have a lot of medium tanks, since Matchmaker right now has not been very cooperative for some of these guys. You can just see I very recklessly drove into this part of the map, and actually this is usually the place where the enemy team is able to pick positions, and I was able to bounce 2 shots off my turret. I'm not sure if it was my turret or my lower plate, but I bounced 2 shots off my tank. Actually, we can see that there's a little forest, and we're gonna put a nice shot into the E4. With the rate of fire and the gun depression, you can really work a lot of ridge lines and places like this. And you can see the E5 over there, he's doing the exact same. You gotta be really lucky to be able to penetrate the E5 from this angle. You almost need to fire heat rounds at the cupola. But I can show you guys. That was a bad shot anyhow. We just took a full-on hit by the IS-3. Yeah, shit happens. So, as I said before, it looks like their medium tanks are responding to our situation right here, and I will have to fall back. There's a ST1 already on the other side. We do have a lot of medium tanks swarming our medium tanks, and now we're gonna get into a very sticky situation. There's an E50M coming over. This ST1 will need some assistance. I'm gonna try to catch the E50M once he tries to go around this corner. And he actually is coming. Wait, I can see him on the minimap. Somebody's shooting at us. I do not know who. Oh, and we can see the bad chat in the back there. And I've actually loaded a heat round for the E50M, since that tank is just really, really well armored. It's not well armored. It has 120 millimeters of frontal armor, but it has amazing angling to its armor. So we're gonna angle the tank correctly right here, since we do not want to get hit in our tracks to get tracked in this tank. Because if you angle it the wrong way, like this, they can track you and do damage and perma track you to death. That has happened to me quite a lot in a lot of games while playing this tank. So we're being extremely useless to our team. We have to take out the TVP there. So we're going to fall back and maybe see if we can get some shots off. Our team is just dying left and right. We have to be extremely careful here. E50M is actually moving up. Probably the bad shot right behind him. And as I said that, he crosses the corner. We have to take out the bad shot, and we're gonna be in huge trouble. We take out the bad shot, and the E50M is going to be right behind us. E50M fires. We bounce off the lower plate of the E50M because of the angling. We just have to push this guy. Obviously, the good players fire heat. Why not? Let's angle our tank. He bounces. And we take him out. Nice help from the ST1. This is gonna be a close match right here. I can tell that already. There's a TVP, and we're not gonna be able to finish that guy. So let's take some pop shots at that bad chat and help our E5. Just trying to push right now. The difficulty right now is that if we engage the bad chat and the TVP, that we can only fire at one at a time. And if I fall back right now and try to help the E5 on the other side, I would probably get flanked by the bad chat or the TVP, but I don't have a choice right now. Yeah. Very stupid play. Should have never went for that. And you can see that they're just gonna roll in now and finish us off. We're gonna go off to the TVP. He's in a bad condition. He will not be able to run from us. Or actually, will he? Well, in that case, I screwed up. TVP is able to run from me, and the bad chat actually takes care of me. Well, you can't win every game. Unfortunately, the i7 kind of suicided in. The E5 there, we were not able to do the damage, and they just overmatched us on pretty much everything. A lot of medium tanks, and they were able to push our other side, the zero line, all the way down. I should have actually, I even saw it coming, but I tried to push with the heavies, and I thought I'd have enough time to fall back. That was a classic mistake. And yeah, I gave them an easy victory. Yeah, we were lacking some medium tanks. Our T54E1 and the Object 140 obviously, and the T54 couldn't hold the right side by themselves. They had the ISU, but obviously if you're in a tier 8, in a tier 10 match, you're not going to be able to do that much amount of damage. So yeah, that had to happen. So I think we had 2 good games. 1 loss, 1 victory. That just shows you the true power of this vehicle. Very, very strong in certain situations. If you have some support, you can be going all the way with this tank. You can really take on any enemy. By yourself even, if you can keep them in your front. But if you're engaging like a medium tank, 2 medium tanks, or just one like the Batchet, and if he gets on your side, a Batchet does 1,800 damage like standard in 1 clip with 5 rounds, you're gonna have a bad time. If you're unlucky, he might even get a fire started on your engine, and well, good night to you. So that's the true difficulty of this tank, to always face the enemy. And there are so many situations where you cannot face the enemy, so your side armor cannot hold up. I think that's a very good way of balancing this tank. It is, you are able to penetrate the lower plate, and you are able to penetrate the cupola if you're firing premium ammunition. But if the tanker is a good tanker, he can avoid a lot of these situations if he's angling their armor, or his armor, or their armor correctly. As you could see with the E50M, he bounced off me on that shot because I angled my armor just right at that second. And there is still an easy way to take care of this tank if it is too powerful, too strong in a certain position, by flanking it. But you cannot always flank it, so that's, I think, the difficulty with engaging the E5, because the lower plate is just not a very reliable weak spot, and you can forget the hatch now. So in a hold down position, this tank is really powerful, and if you cannot flank this vehicle, well, you're gonna have a really bad time. I think that perfectly described the first battle that I had. I was sitting on top at that rock on mines, and they were not able to flank me because they did not have enough tanks, or because they were not able to go up because of all the friendly tanks that I had around me. So I was just able to farm all the damage, and that is one of the things why a lot of people just enjoy playing the T110e5. Yeah, it's very powerful in the right spot, but all alone and being flanked, this tank has some troubles. So yeah, this was the episode, the second episode for World Tanks 101, the E5. And I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please comment, like, and subscribe. And look at this bad boy that I just picked up. I got all my missions done except for one, and that was the Japanese mission. Because I do not have... No, not the Japanese, wait. I did the Japanese mission with actually 2 tanks. The heavy tank number 6 and the OI experimental and the Chinukai. I tell you, that was a freaking grind, terrible grind. The Japanese mission, but the Czechoslovakian mission, you can forget that. I only have the Kolo Husenka, and that tank I have not done anything with. It's a tier 1. So yeah, I spent $8 to get the T44-100, which is a great price for that vehicle, and I'm quite happy. I haven't played it yet, but I have heard a lot of things about this tank, and I'm stoked to be playing it soon, and you guys will probably see some content, well, as soon as possible. So yeah, this was Tiger Tank 1-2, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode, and see you guys on the next one.